You know something is seriously wrong with your mother-in-law when none of her children has nice things to say about her. Not only that, but also her daughter-in-law describes her as a living nightmare. That is my mother-in-law for you. It wasn't just her. It was her and almost her entire friend circle. I, Stella, had the glorious opportunity to end their toxic behavior. Let me tell you how. My husband Dmitri and I became a couple in college. We were in the same class and bonded over the fact that we both knew Russian. While he was an actual Russian, I had simply learned it as a hobby. I am multilingual, and in many languages, Dmitri was extremely impressed by my skills, and we developed a good relationship. Pretty soon, by the end of 2 months, I knew I wanted to be with this man. Trust me, my husband is one of a kind. Soon, we began to date. When we crossed a few years and graduated, Dmitri decided to give me a little warning about his mother, Pauline. Our relationship was progressing excellently, and plans of marriage were in the air, so he decided to give me a heads up. He said, "Stella, since we have been discussing marriage, I think you need to know my family a bit. Why don't we meet up with them? It would be fun. I'm excited to finally meet them." Our dinner included Dominic and Natasha from our graduation. "I don't know why your mum never came. She is like that, Stella. This is why I think I should warn you. Stella, since we have been discussing marriage, I think you need to know my family a bit. Why don't we meet up with them? It would be fun. I'm excited to finally meet them." Our dinner included Dominic and Natasha from our graduation. "I don't know why your mum never came. She is like that, Stella. This is why I think I should warn you. My mum is not the best out there. It's not like she was abusive or something, it's just that she doesn't care about us. She's pretty self-obsessed and always has been. I'm afraid she will offend you." "Really? How bad can it be? Maybe you are overthinking this. I'll be fine." "No, Stella, you don't understand. She's not a very good person. She has been nasty towards Natasha as well. I guess she feels threatened when a woman joins her family. She's used to being the matriarch. Me and Dominic are still in contact because she depends on us and we can't abandon our mum. Back then, I sort of didn't believe Pauline could be so bad. Dmitri did tell me a lot of stuff about his mum, however. I believed that people can't be so vile. Even Natasha and Dominic had told me about Pauline's obnoxious behavior. Things became clear to me when I finally met Pauline. At the first meeting itself, I could tell that Pauline was a vain woman. She said, "So Stella, tell me a little bit about yourself." I have no idea why my son fancied someone who isn't Russian. My sons are disappointments to me anyway, but I was counting on Dmitri to find me a good daughter-in-law. The first one is a joke about a woman. "Excuse me? Why would you say that about your sons and Natasha?" "Because it is true. She's an infertile person. I can't believe my son hasn't divorced her yet. But then again, my sons tend to annoy me. Since you are here, I assume marriage has been talked about. We are planning to get engaged. Mom, it won't be long." "So I have to put up with this stupid girl for the rest of my life? Good to know. Is this meeting done yet? I have a spa date with my friends." This woman was shocking. She met me for the first time and didn't show any respect towards me and her own family. It was ridiculous. What's even more shocking is the fact that her sons are providing for her while she goes away and spends her money. Despite this, she kept calling them disappointments. I immediately knew that having a relationship with Pauline would be a disaster. When Dmitri finally proposed to me, I did voice out my concerns. I said, "Dmitri, I don't have a good feeling about Pauline. She is a vile woman. I'm sorry to say this, but your mum is the worst. How can you still have a relationship with her?" "I can't help it, Stella. She's my mom and my only parent. If I don't take care of her, she would have no one. I was hoping she would eventually change her ways." I'm not very sure about that, Dmitri. Honestly, I don't even want to be around her. I'm worried she would be a bad presence in our lives. Don't worry, Stella. If she tries anything with you, I won't tolerate it. I know my boundaries. I trusted his words. Dmitri did love me a lot, and I was sure he would protect me if necessary. However, after our wedding, Pauline's presence still became a huge problem. She constantly made me and Natasha work for her and fulfill her demands whenever Dominic and Dmitri were busy. She called us and demanded us to come and help her. She never stopped berating us whenever she saw us. It was becoming too much for us. However, Dominic and Dmitri had a hard time saying no to her. Plus, me and Natasha didn't have parents, so we went the extra mile to try and salvage a relationship. Everything changed when I discovered something even more horrible about her. You see, Pauline had a weekly lunch meeting with her friends. At first, we thought it was just old ladies spending quality time. That was, until I heard their conversations. One day, I had to go to her house to get some documents for Dmitri. When I knocked on her door, Pauline let me in. Her friends looked kind of uncomfortable, but didn't say anything. As I was leaving with the documents, I overheard their conversation in Russian. "Why did you let Stella in, Pauline?" "Oh, don't mind her. She is a dumb girl and doesn't know Russian. She says she does, but I know she is lying. Stella is super pretentious. You should have seen how fat she looked in a bikini on her recent trip. I swear a whale would look better. It would be a shame to be seen with her." "You really? These girls know nothing about being decent. My daughters-in-law are the same. She dresses like a cheap woman. You know, the last time she showed me clothes, I went and threw them out. She cried for days, and it made me so happy. God, they do deserve our little punishments. You know, I taught Natasha a good lesson last time. I added almonds to her food. She is allergic to them. I lied and said I didn't know. I don't know why she survived. She can't even have kids, so what's the point of her being alive? Good for you to teach her a lesson. My daughter-in-law has been getting out of control. I'm thinking about leaking some embarrassing pictures of her. She has been body-conscious recently. I bet it would teach her a lesson to stop eating so much. I wanted to starve her the last time she was here." "Good, I did. I should try this out with Stella. That girl needs to be starved for a day or two. I doubt that will help, though. I can see why her parents decided to escape from her. I would have died too if I had such an ugly daughter. These girls think they are better than us. It's good we punish them when necessary. They have already charmed our sons. Someone needs to keep them under control and show them their place." Yes, these were the discussions that Pauline and her friends had every day. They kept on saying even more vile things and planning evil schemes on their daughters-in-law. Hell, Pauline even made fun of me by mentioning my dead parents. It made me sick to my stomach. With my quick thinking, I took out my phone and started to record. Then I quietly left the house without them knowing. I couldn't bear to be there anymore. Honestly, their discussion made me pretty sick and furious. I felt like crying my eyes out. These people were horrible. I had no idea a group of old ladies could be so vile and cruel. The things they continued to say disgusted me. I was furious at Pauline and the other women. They had no shame in plotting and scheming against their daughters-in-law. Hell, they took great joy in the suffering of their daughters-in-law. I was furious and wanted to reveal their true faces to everyone. So I made a plan. I knew that all the sons and daughters-in-law needed to know what goes on in these meetings held by the old ladies. Since all of the men and their wives were Russian, they would easily understand what was being said. I was the only one who wasn't Russian. Keeping this in mind, I decided to host a party. I didn't inform my husband about what had happened. Instead, I simply told him that we could organize a barbecue for everyone. However, I did meet up with Natasha and had a conversation with her. I said, "Hey, Natasha, There is something I wanted to tell you. Do you know those lunch meetings that Pauline goes to every week? Yes, what about them? Were you allowed to join in? Technically, I wasn't. I went home to get some documents and they let me in. I guess they thought I wouldn't understand their discussion. Pauline doesn't know that I learned Russian years back. I recorded their conversation for you. I played the recording for her. Natasha got wide eyes and immediately looked pissed. By the time the recording was done, she was ready to slap someone. I had to guess who that could be. She said, "What the hell were they thinking?" I always thought she was having a friendly get-together. She lives on our money, but has no problem talking about us. Believe me, Natasha, I cannot comprehend the freaking audacity of these women. I only recorded parts of the conversation. They kept saying much worse things. To tell everyone right now. This is insane and wrong. There is no way I will keep in contact with Pauline after this. No need to tell anyone right now, Natasha. I'm planning a party very soon. I want you to invite all the sons and daughters-in-law you know. Make sure they show up no matter what. We will give these women a taste of their own medicine. So Natasha and I made plans to arrange everything. She called up multiple people while I informed the ones I know personally. We didn't tell them about the conversations with the mother-in-law. Instead, we just requested their presence. No one knew what was waiting for them. Pauline was also invited along with her friends. She said, My Stella, it's been a week since you came back from vacation, and you are already planning a party. I see that you are hell-bent on landing my son in debt. Me and Dmitri are splitting the costs. Pauline? Even Natasha is contributing to it. Who needs enemies when you have daughters-in-law like mine? I guess I'll see both of my sons on the street in no time. Well, who knows? One of us might end up on the street very soon. For now, we expect to see you at the party. All your friends are invited. I will inform them after you confirm. Oh, at least I'll have someone to talk to. Okay then, I will be there. With Pauline's confirmation, me and Dmitri began inviting all her friends as well. I even invited the ones who don't attend lunch meetings. Everyone needed to know what Pauline and her group were like. My invitations were all answered, and everyone did show up for the party. I had everything arranged. I was simply waiting for the perfect chance. People were milling about and enjoying themselves. Pauline and her group were in the corner gossiping about something. I have a good guess what they are talking about, especially because they were away from the rest of the people so that no one could hear them. Once everyone arrived, I seated them on my lawn and proceeded to the microphone. Yes, I did rent all the equipment. I'm extra that way. I took the microphone and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my barbecue party. I've taken great pain to organize this event, and I'm glad all of you made time for me. Now that everyone is here, I want to tell you the real reason why you were all called here. You guys might want to hear this very carefully. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Well, we all know that Pauline and her friends like to arrange some awesome lunch meetings on weekdays, but we never knew what they talked about in their meetings. Until now, that is. You see, I had a rare chance to hear what the meeting was all about. And let me tell you all, Pauline and her friends do is berate their daughters-in-law and plot against them. That's not true at all. We never make fun of our daughters-in-law. Why would you say such a thing? You don't even know Russian. How did you understand what we said? You have a habit of underestimating me, Pauline. I did tell you that I understand Russian very well. You always thought I was bluffing. Well, spoiler alert, I wasn't bluffing at all. That is impossible. You are talking about us and insulting us. You have no proof of your horrible claims. Well, I do have proof of your nasty activities, Pauline. People, I'm going to play a beautiful recording of Pauline and her group talking at their lunch meeting. You can hear it and decide for yourself. With that, I switched on my phone and played the recording on the microphone. The entire atmosphere changed in a few minutes. From having curious eyes, my guests quickly switched to being extremely mad and ready to blow up. The things that the mothers-in-law said in the recordings were awful. I looked over to Dimitri and Dominic, and both of them looked freaking mad. When the recording ended, everyone freaked out. All the sons and daughters-in-law verbally lashed out at their mothers. Even Dominic and Dimitri berated Pauline. They said, "What the hell is this, Mum? Are you freaking out of your mind? This is what you do with your friends at my house." "Dimitri, listen to me, son. This is all a trap. I had no idea Stella speaks Russian. This was all a setup. Please believe me. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've heard today. Everyone knows Stella speaks Russian. You are the one who refused to believe her and mocked her for it. Stella, you portrayed me out to be a monster. I'm not like this, son. I was just venting to my friends. Stella has no right airing our dirty laundry like this. How dare you try to justify your behavior? You told everyone about the issues we go through. You were the one who started this. What is wrong with you? You have some nerve making fun of us, Pauline. I don't know why I even put up with you. How the hell did you think it was okay to make fun of my infertility like that? You even body-shamed Stella and talked about her. Pauline was busy trying to explain her side to her sons. Meanwhile, every mother-in-law was getting cornered by their sons and being berated by their daughters-in-law. It was a fiasco. However, all these vile women deserved it. Dominic and Dimitri would not listen to what Pauline was saying. They said, "I'm not going to forget or forgive what you have done. We have put up with your freaking behavior long enough. I'm going to stand up for my wife and protect her. We are done with you, Mum. Don't bother showing your face again. We are disowning you as well. Hell, if I ever see you again, I'll pretend you are no one to me. Say goodbye to the monthly allowance I send you. You don't deserve my money." "We'll cut it, Mom. You should have thought about things before you went around bad-mouthing our wives like Dominic." "I'm going to stop giving you money as well. Enough is enough." Pauline started to freak out completely. She broke down screaming and crying while her friends were also doing the same. In the end, all of them were promptly kicked out. The rest of us discussed everything and decided to have a good time among ourselves. It was a barbecue party after all, so we made the most of the night despite the circumstances. All the men and their wives came up to me and thanked me for informing them. They were grateful that I didn't keep this information to myself. When the party finally got over, I decided to apologize to Dimitri and Dominic. I said, "Dimitri, Dominic, I am sorry for revealing things so publicly. I wanted everyone to know it at once, and you confronting them individually would mess things up. I didn't want to give them time to cook up something." "No, Stella, you don't have to apologize. We already know why you guys didn't come up to us first. To be honest, me and Dominic were in denial when you and Natasha complained about Mum. We needed this wake-up call." "Yes, this needed to be done publicly. Who knows what they have cooked up in their next meeting? Don't worry, guys. From now on, things will change. We meant what we said. I and Dimitri won't support Mum anymore. She can figure things out on her own." We talked for the rest of the night. It got so late that I asked Dominic and Natasha to stay over. The next day, Pauline showed up at our house again. She was banging on the door and hurling insults at me. I guess she thought I was alone at home since I worked from home. Imagine her surprise when two very angry-looking sons of hers opened the door. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Yes, Pauline turned on the waterworks again while I and Natasha laughed our butts off. Pauline tried to sway her sons. However, Dominic and Dimitri simply closed the door in her face. Days passed, and Pauline did everything to try and make up with her sons. She even tried to talk to me and Natasha and asked us to help her. We laughed in her face and told her to go to hell. As the month went by, Pauline soon realized that both her sons were serious about not spending money. She cried to everyone about losing her house because her landlord was threatening to kick her out. When she called us, we simply ignored her. She can get a job for all I care. It's been over 6 months since the incident. So far, we have news that Pauline is living with her sister in a different state. Her sister didn't want to take her in but felt like she had no choice. However, she did tell her to find her jobs if she wants to stay. News is that she is making excuses, so I'm not sure how long her sister will put up with her. Meanwhile, her other friends have also faced serious consequences for their behavior. Some have been removed from their sons' homes, while others have gone low or have no contact. The group had broken up since everyone kept blaming each other for the fiasco. At this point, I don't even care what happens to the rest. I and Dmitri are back to having a peaceful life without finding Pauline criticizing our every move.